Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much. What if the life you're living right now isn't one you truly chose? What if drifting through days is the real danger, not failure? And what if 7 focused months could change everything? Most people don't live intentionally. They don't wake up with purpose or direction. Instead, they drift through their days, their weeks, their months, and eventually their years without ever really taking the wheel. They hope things will improve. They wish their circumstances would magically shift. They pray for a miracle that never seems to come. But after decades of studying success and human behavior, I've learned something that most people never realize. Hope is not a strategy. Wishing isn't a plan. And prayer, without consistent effort, is just a dream that fades like mist in the morning sun. The real difference between successful people and everyone else isn't luck. It's not talent. And it certainly isn't circumstances. The real difference? Successful people have a plan. And they follow it with relentless discipline. No shortcuts. No excuses. They understand a truth that escapes the masses. Transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it can happen in a realistic amount of time if you're willing to do the work others avoid. 7 months. That's what I'm offering you today. Not 7 years, not an entire lifetime, but 7 focused, disciplined, purpose-driven months to completely transform your life. Why 7? Because it strikes the perfect balance. It's long enough to create meaningful, lasting change, but short enough to sustain your energy and enthusiasm. It builds urgency without burning you out. It creates momentum without overwhelming you. And here's the thing about time. It's the most democratic resource on earth. No matter your background, your income, your education, or your age, we all get the same 24 hours each day. Time doesn't discriminate. What matters is how you use it. So the real question isn't whether you have enough time. The question is, what will you do with the time you already have? If you're serious about transformation, if you're ready to take control of your life, then the next 7 months could become the most valuable investment you ever make. But before we dive into this 7-month success plan, there's something crucial you need to understand. Change is not an event. It's a process. It doesn't just happen to you. It happens because of you. Change demands commitment. It requires daily discipline. It's built on decisions followed by consistent action. The problem? Most people say they want change, but they don't want to change their habits. They dream of new results, but they refuse to let go of old routines. And that's not how real transformation works. Here's the truth about personal growth. You can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. And once you commit to that new direction, once you start walking that path with focus and consistency, day after day, week after week, month after month, you'll look back in awe at how far you've come. The key to transformation isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's starting exactly where you are. Use what you already have. Do what you can with what's available now. Because if you keep waiting for the perfect time, perfect resources, or perfect clarity, you'll be waiting forever. Perfect conditions are a myth. Progress belongs to those who move forward despite uncertainty. So let's talk about the core of this 7-month transformation plan. It's not based on hacks, hype, or quick fixes. It's grounded in what I call the 3 pillars of personal development. Personal philosophy, personal attitude, personal activity. These 3 areas, when intentionally developed and consistently applied, can create the unstoppable momentum you need to transform any part of your life. Think of them as the foundation, the fuel, and the forward motion that carry you from who you are to who you're becoming. Let's start with personal philosophy, how you think about life. Your philosophy is more than a collection of ideas. It's your belief system, your values, your internal compass. It shapes your worldview, guides your decisions, and quietly determines the quality of your character. But here's the truth most people never realize. They don't create their personal philosophy. They inherit it. They adopt beliefs from family, friends, school, or society without ever questioning if those beliefs help or harm them. Without asking, is this mindset serving me or holding me back? Successful people do the opposite. They don't passively accept what they're taught. They examine it. They refine it. They take full ownership of their thinking. Because here's a powerful truth. If you want to have more, you have to become more. And in order to become more, you must first think more clearly about who you are, what you believe, and what you truly want. That's why the first month of your transformation journey must be dedicated to your personal philosophy. This is your foundation. You need to take an honest look at your beliefs about success, money, relationships, health, and most importantly, about yourself. Are your beliefs empowering you or sabotaging you? Are they rooted in truth or in inherited limitations that you've never even questioned? This kind of deep reflection isn't easy, but it's absolutely essential. You cannot build an extraordinary life on a foundation of ordinary thinking. So in this first month, I want you to become a student of success. Study the way successful people think. Read books that challenge your assumptions. Listen to content that stretches your mind. Immerse yourself in stories, strategies, and ideas that expand your sense of what's possible. Nourish your mind with the same care you give your body. Be intentional about what you consume mentally. Because as Jim Rohn once said, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. But let's be clear, philosophy alone is not enough. To transform your life, you also have to develop your personal attitude. Attitude is the lens through which you view the world. It's how you interpret challenges and approach opportunities. It's what determines whether you see problems or possibilities, setbacks or stepping stones. And ultimately, it's your attitude that shapes your response to life more than any circumstance ever could. It's your attitude that determines whether you approach each day with hope or dread, whether you feel energized or drained, whether your outlook is rooted in gratitude or resentment. Attitude is powerful. It colors everything. It shapes your emotional energy, your resilience, and how people respond to you. That's why the second month of your transformation plan must focus on building an attitude of gratitude and enthusiasm. This isn't just a motivational cliche. It's a practical, transformational shift. Start every morning by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be big. It could be something as simple as a good conversation, a warm cup of coffee, or a small win from the day before. Then, at the end of each day, reflect on your progress, no matter how small it may seem. The act of noticing movement, even in tiny steps, builds momentum. You're not training yourself to ignore reality. You're training your mind to focus on the good within the reality. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about deliberately choosing to focus on solutions over problems and on possibilities over limitations. That kind of mental discipline builds emotional strength. And let's not forget, enthusiasm is contagious. When you bring positive energy into a room, it changes the atmosphere. But so does the absence of that energy. If you want to attract success into your life, you need to become someone that success is naturally drawn to. And who is that person? Someone who is excited about life. Someone who believes in their goals. Someone who has a sense of purpose when they talk about their future. Now, let's be honest, enthusiasm alone won't guarantee success. But a lack of it, that almost guarantees failure. People who go through the motions, who drag themselves forward without passion, rarely create meaningful change. This leads us to the third pillar of transformation, personal activity. This is the turning point where your philosophy and your attitude start to create tangible results. This is where your thoughts begin to show up in your behavior, where dreams leave the vision board and step into reality. Because without consistent activity, Philosophy becomes nothing more than a thought experiment. And attitude becomes just another feel-good buzzword. But when those two, philosophy and attitude, are backed by intentional, focused action, that's when transformation becomes real. The third month of your transformation journey should be dedicated to developing new disciplines. Disciplines are the building blocks of success. They're not random tasks. They're deliberate daily actions that, when practiced over time, shape your outcomes. And here's the hard truth. Most people want different results, but they don't want to change their routine. They want a better life, but they don't want to disrupt the habits that built their current one. That's like wanting to lose weight, but continuing to eat the same foods in the same portions. You can't create new results without changing the inputs. It simply doesn't work any other way. You can't wish your way to success. You can't hope your way into transformation. Success, at its core, is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, repeated with consistency every single day. And failure? It's just a few small errors in judgment, also repeated daily. The gap between success and failure is often narrower than most people think, but the impact of that gap is enormous. It's the difference between doing and not doing, between showing up and giving up, between staying disciplined and slipping into neglect. So what disciplines do you need to build? That depends entirely on what you want to achieve. If your aim is financial independence, then you must build the discipline of saving consistently, budgeting wisely, and making smart investments. If your focus is on better health, then your daily disciplines should include proper nutrition, physical movement, and rest. If you desire stronger relationships, the necessary disciplines might be active listening, thoughtful communication, and showing up with consistent kindness, even when it's inconvenient. And if you're committed to personal growth, then you'll need the disciplines of self-reflection, ongoing learning, and reading things that challenge your thinking. The key is to start small. Don't try to change your entire life overnight. That's a recipe for burnout. Instead, identify one or two key disciplines that could have the greatest positive impact. Focus on those. Master them. Make them a natural part of your routine before adding anything new. Because in the end, it's better to do a few things well than to do many things poorly. As we enter the fourth month of your transformation journey, it's time to turn your focus toward goal setting and strategic planning. Think of goals as dreams with structure, dreams with deadlines. They give shape to your ambition. They give direction to your energy. Without clear goals, you're like a ship with no compass, easily tossed around by circumstance, drifting wherever life takes you. But with focused, compelling goals, you become the captain of your own destiny. That said, not all goals are created equal. Some are vague, weak, or wishful, barely more than good intentions. And then there are goals that carry weight, goals that move you, goals that have power. These are the goals that pull you forward when motivation fades. The ones that carry you through resistance, around obstacles, and over mountains. So what separates a strong goal from a weak one? First, it must be specific. Saying, I want to be rich is not a goal. It's a vague wish. A real goal is, I want to accumulate a net worth of $1 million within 5 years through disciplined saving, business growth, and strategic investments. Second, a strong goal is measurable. You need a way to track your progress. If you don't know what progress looks like, how will you ever know when you succeeded? And third, it must have a deadline. A goal without a time frame has no urgency, no pressure, no pull. But when you set a deadline, your mind sharpens, your focus tightens, and your commitment deepens. Goals without deadlines? They're not really goals. They're just daydreams dressed up as ambition. One of the most important things you can do is assign a time frame to every goal you set. A deadline creates urgency. It shifts your focus and brings clarity. Without one, the goal loses power. But that's not all. Fourth, your goals must be written down. There's something almost magical about taking an idea from your head and putting it on paper. When you write it down, it becomes real, tangible, specific. It shifts from a vague intention into a concrete commitment. Still, writing goals isn't the end of the process. It's just the beginning. Because goals without a plan are just wishes. And plans without clear goals? That's just busy work, activity without direction. But when you pair a strong goal with a solid plan, you create a force for achievement that is almost unstoppable. Your plan should break your larger goals down into small, manageable steps. Each step should be clear, measurable, and actionable. Map out what resources you'll need. Anticipate the obstacles that might stand in your way. Then identify specific strategies to overcome them. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being prepared. During this 4th month, it's also time to perform a life audit, a powerful process for gaining clarity and perspective. Take a step back and evaluate where you currently stand in each area of your life. Finances, career, health, relationships, personal development, and spiritual growth. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in each area. Not to criticize yourself, but to establish your starting point. Because how can you measure growth if you don't know where you began? This exercise isn't about judgment. It's about awareness. It's about getting honest with yourself so you can see which areas need attention and which ones are already thriving. Where you are today is not an accident. It's the cumulative result of the choices you've made up until this point. That's not meant to shame you. It's meant to empower you. Because if your choices created your current reality, then your new choices can create a new future. The past is fixed. You can't change it. But the future? That's still unwritten, and it's completely in your hands. That brings us to the 5th month of your transformation journey, building momentum through consistent, focused action. This is the month where theory becomes practice, where all your planning and preparation start showing up in real-life performance. This is where ideas are tested and results begin to emerge. You spent 4 months laying the groundwork, developing your philosophy, shifting your attitude, building new disciplines, and setting goals. Now, it's time to put it all into motion. It's time to activate. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life. Once it begins working in your favor, it becomes easier to keep going than to stop. You've probably felt it before in your workouts, in your work, or in your personal growth. That feeling of being in the zone. But here's the key. Momentum must be created intentionally. It doesn't show up by accident, and it certainly doesn't arrive overnight. It's something you build one decision at a time, one action at a time, one day at a time. And once you've got it, it will carry you further than you ever thought possible. The key to building lasting momentum lies in one simple but powerful principle: consistency. It's not about taking massive, heroic actions once in a while. It's about taking small, deliberate steps every single day. Because what you do consistently matters far more than what you do occasionally. A steady trickle of water can cut through solid rock over time. But a flood, no matter how powerful, leaves no lasting change if it happens only once. Consistency is the mother of mastery. And mastery? That's what fuels momentum. So during this 5th month, your focus should narrow in on your daily activities. Ask yourself honestly, what am I doing each day to move closer to my goals? Are you reading 30 minutes each day to expand your knowledge and sharpen your mind? Are you exercising daily to improve your health, even if it's just a brisk walk or a short workout? Are you saving a consistent percentage of your income each month to strengthen your financial foundation? Are you spending intentional, quality time with the people who matter most to nurture your relationships? These actions may seem small, even trivial, but don't underestimate them. Because small actions, repeated consistently, compound into extraordinary outcomes. The real challenge? These small things are just as easy not to do. That's the silent danger. They're easy to skip, easy to delay, easy to rationalize. But over time, the cost of neglect is high. Every choice you make, no matter how minor it may seem, adds up. and those choices will ultimately define the quality of your life. This is also the perfect time to develop something equally powerful: the power of association. Who you spend time with shapes who you become. That's not just a saying. It's a truth grounded in psychology, neuroscience, and human behavior. Spend time around successful, growth-oriented people, and you'll start adopting their habits, their mindsets, their standards. You'll think differently. You'll act differently. But the reverse is also true. Spend time around people who are negative, unmotivated, or stuck, and their energy will rub off on you too. You'll unconsciously absorb their limitations, their doubts, their excuses. This isn't about judging anyone. It's simply how human nature works. So take a moment to audit your current associations. Who's in your circle? Are the people around you pulling you forward or holding you back? Are they inspiring your growth or reinforcing your comfort zone? Are they encouraging your dreams or feeding your fears? You may not be able to change your environment overnight, but you can begin to shift your exposure. You can choose to spend less time with negative influences and more time with people who challenge, support, and uplift you. Seek out mentors who have walked the path you want to travel. Find coaches or advisors who will speak truth to you, guide you, and push you to rise. Join communities, organizations, or mastermind groups where growth-minded individuals gather. Attends seminar. Engage in events. Read books by people who've overcome what you're facing right now. Because when you surround yourself with excellence, it starts to rub off on you. As you step into the 6th month of your transformation journey, it's time to focus on something that separates dreamers from achievers: overcoming obstacles and developing resilience. Every meaningful goal you set will bring challenges with it. Every dream worth chasing will test your strength. And every major life transformation will come with resistance. But don't be mistaken, this isn't some cruel design flaw in the universe. In fact, it's the opposite. It's a feature of growth. Obstacles aren't here to break you. They're here to build you. They're not there to stop your progress. They're meant to stretch you, to reveal what you're capable of when you dig deep and push forward. The truth is, successful people don't have fewer challenges than everyone else. In many cases, they actually face more. The difference isn't in how many obstacles they encounter. It's in how they respond to them. Where the average person sees a wall, the achiever sees a temporary detour. Where others ask, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask instead, "What can I learn from this? And how can I grow stronger because of it?" Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's a skill. Like a muscle, it only grows stronger when tested. Each time you endure a challenge and keep moving forward, you develop a new level of inner strength. Each time life knocks you down and you get back up, you build your capacity to bounce back faster and smarter. So, dedicate this 6th month to mental toughness and emotional resilience. Learn how to gain control over your thoughts and feelings, especially when life feels chaotic. Train your mind to stay focused on your long-term goals. Even when the world around you feels like it's working against you. What do you do when progress is slow and motivation fades? That's when resilience matters most. Because discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. That's how you separate those who dream from those who do. One of the most empowering skills you can develop is the ability to reframe adversity. Start viewing your problems not as permanent blocks, but as hidden teachers. Every setback holds within it the seeds of a greater comeback. Every failure whispers a lesson that can guide your next step. Every challenge presents a choice: give up or grow up. But this isn't just fluffy motivation, it's practical thinking. When you train your mind to see opportunity in adversity, you gain the ability to turn nearly any situation into forward momentum. You become adaptable. You become stronger. You become unstoppable. And don't forget another critical piece of resilience: the ability to delay gratification. True success demands sacrifice. It means resisting the temptation of short-term pleasures in favor of long-term rewards. It means understanding that the price of success is paid in full, upfront, in daily installments, with no shortcuts. Stay tuned for the next part, where we'll continue building the foundation of your transformation. It means doing what you don't feel like doing, so eventually, you can live the life you've always dreamed of. That's the unspoken price of transformation. Most people hesitate at this point. They crave comfort more than change. They want the rewards without the grind, the results without the process, the finish line without the training. But success doesn't arrive in an instant. It's not handed to you like a lottery prize. It's built quietly, patiently, through daily effort that compounds over time. This 6th month isn't just about resilience. It's also about developing what I call the discipline of disappointment. Because let's face it, disappointment is inevitable. Life won't always match your expectations. Plans will fall apart. People will fail you. Conditions will shift, and timing won't always favor you. The real question is not if you'll be disappointed, but when. And more importantly, how will you respond? Will disappointment knock you off course or push you forward with new wisdom? Will you use it as an excuse to give up or as fuel to grow stronger? Every letdown contains a lesson. You can let it harden you or you can let it shape you. That decision, how you interpret and respond to setbacks, will define your long-term success more than any talent or opportunity ever will. Disappointment can be the anchor that drags you down or the weight that builds your strength. You choose. Now we arrive at the 7th and final month of this transformation journey, a milestone of acceleration and breakthrough. You've laid the groundwork. Over the past 6 months, you've redefined your philosophy, reshaped your attitude, installed new disciplines, set meaningful goals, created momentum, and built your resilience. This final month is not about coasting. It's about leveling up. Breakthrough is what happens when sustained effort reaches a tipping point. It's when invisible progress finally becomes visible success. When all the internal rewiring you've done starts to reflect outward in tangible achievements. But make no mistake, breakthroughs don't magically appear. They're earned through quiet perseverance when no one is watching. They emerge after hundreds of small actions stack into something powerful. This is the moment where many give up, right before the finish line. Why? Because this final stretch is when the old version of you makes its last stand. Your limiting beliefs, your comfort zone, your old habits, they all rise up trying to reclaim their place. Doubt whispers louder. Fear grows stronger. Resistance feels heavier. But that's the sign you're getting close. You don't face your biggest resistance at the beginning of transformation. You face it right before the breakthrough. And if you can push through that final wall, everything begins to shift. Stay consistent. Stay focused. Victory is just on the other side. In this final month, it's time to narrow your focus and guard your priorities with unwavering commitment. You've come too far to let distractions pull you off track. Every choice matters now more than ever. Eliminate anything that doesn't move you forward. Be bold in saying no to what drains your time or your energy. Treat every moment like the precious resource it is, because it truly is. You're not simply trying to make small improvements. You're here to completely transform your life. And real transformation, that demands nothing less than total dedication. This is also the perfect time to pause and truly acknowledge how far you've come. Think back to where you were 7 months ago. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Compare that version of yourself to who you are now. Notice the shift in your mindset, the changes in your daily habits, the progress in your results. Take pride in both the big wins and the small, quiet victories. Celebration isn't a luxury, it's fuel. It re-energizes your momentum and builds the emotional strength you'll need to continue evolving. But don't mistake this milestone for the finish line. These past 7 months were not the end of your journey. They were the launch pad. They were the foundation for a life of continuous growth, fulfillment, and contribution. The mindset you've developed, the habits you've built, the clarity you've gained, these are tools that will serve you for years to come if you keep nurturing them. Because real transformation is never a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. The most successful people you admire didn't just get there once. They grow daily. They push beyond their limits, not just for achievement, but because growth is the most fulfilling form of living. The moment you stop growing, you begin to wither, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So don't stop here. Set new goals. Tackle new challenges. Explore new skills. Stretch into new territory. Because in the end, the real reward isn't just achieving your goals. It's becoming the kind of person who does. Goals are the tool. Growth is the destination. And here's the truth I want to leave you with. Everything you need to transform your life is already within you. Right now, you have the power to choose your thoughts. You have the ability to change your habits. You have the capacity to overcome, to grow, to thrive. The question has never been, can you change your life in 7 months? The real question is, will you? Will you make the decision to commit? Will you do the hard work, even when it's uncomfortable? Will you keep going when others quit? Will you bet on yourself when no one else will? Because your future is waiting on one decision, and that decision is yours to make. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I wish you strength, joy, and relentless growth. And don't forget to subscribe to Mindset Daily for more inspiration, more insight, and more tools to help you design the life you are meant to live. Stay strong, stay focused, and stay true to your highest self. Wishing you health, happiness, and continued success. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because perfect moments rarely come. Not next week, not when the timing feels right. The only time you truly have is now, this very moment. Because 7 months from now, the version of you sitting here today will be living one of two realities. The question is, will that future version be stuck in the same routines, the same habits, the same life? Or will they be living a transformed life, stronger, wiser, more fulfilled? The choice is entirely yours. And that choice begins today. This 7-month journey of transformation starts with a single, powerful decision. The decision to become more than who you are right now. Not someday, not when life calms down, but today. Decide that you're done waiting, done wishing, done settling. Decide that your future deserves more and that you're willing to do what it takes to get there. Because success doesn't just happen. It's not handed out. It's built through intention, through commitment, through daily effort. It doesn't depend on luck, circumstances, or other people. It depends on you, your choices, your discipline, your courage to stay the course when it gets uncomfortable. And here's the good news. You already have everything you need. It's already within you. The potential, the resilience, the strength. The only thing missing is action. 7 months from now, you can wake up to a life you barely recognize in the best way. You can experience new outcomes, new connections, new doors opening. You can move from surviving to thriving. But it all hinges on one thing. Whether you decide right now to do things differently, to live intentionally, and to grow on purpose. The person you want to become is already inside of you, waiting to be unleashed. But transformation only happens when you're willing to do the work. When you're willing to show up day after day and build that version of yourself, one decision, one habit, one step at a time. The future belongs to those who not only believe in the beauty of their dreams, but who are brave enough to chase them. Your dreams are not foolish. They're not too far away. They're a reflection of what's possible when you stop holding back. You deserve to live the life you've always imagined. You deserve to become the person you've always believed you could be. The 7-month transformation journey begins here, now, with you. So, are you ready to begin? Thank you so much for being part of this journey. I wish you health, happiness, and unstoppable progress. And don't forget to subscribe to Mindset Daily for more inspiration to fuel your transformation.